Guess what today's topic is about? Yeah, reflections. As you guys can see here, this is a great example of a reflection. We see our reflection probably every day, some of us multiple times in a day. And what I think is a cool representation here is that this baby here, the finger is pointing, is pretty close to the line of reflection. It's very close to the mirror, which means the baby's reflection, the finger is close to the mirror as well. And then the head is farther away, so the head is farther away in the mirror as well. So as you know, reflections are part of everyday life. So what you will need before we begin is two different colored writing utensils. In other words, like two different colored highlighters, two different colored pencils, markers, or crayons, okay? Now, if you don't have it, don't fret, but you might, if you can, just pause the video for a second and go grab some colored pencils. As long as they're two different colors, it's going to help the drawing stand out to you. So I would suggest you pause the video and go get it, okay? So reflection. So this is the sheet that you need to have. And we've been focusing for the last couple days on translations, which is a slide. A reflection is a flip. So let's take a look here. A reflection, what did we say from the beginning? It's a rigid transformation. It's not a non-rigid. The only one that does that is dilation. And what's the definition for that? It's a transformation that flips, and you can use your pencil with me. Okay, so I didn't think, oh, okay, so I didn't mention that you also need a pencil, but hopefully that's a given. A transformation that flips a figure over a mirror or a line of reflection. So the mirror or the line, I think someone's about to come into my room. Make sure that, yeah, she just left. Okay, so you have a mirror or a line of reflection. So without that, you can't have a reflection. So you can have a horizontal reflection, which sounds weird here, but it's a horizontal movement, okay? So if you look here, we've got a vertical line, but the reflection, the movement of the reflection is a horizontal movement. So for example, we're going to use the y-axis, okay, to reflect a pre-image onto an image, or this other way around. We don't know which one's the pre-image or image here because we don't have points to label it, okay? We'll talk more about this, but over here we have a line of reflection. Now, you might wonder why there's like dotted lines. Okay, the reason why they have dotted lines is to show you that they're the same distance away from the line of reflection. So for example, from this point to that line, let's say it's like 4 centimeters. Then over here to that line of reflection should also be 4 centimeters. Let's say this point is closer, right? So then it's 1 centimeters here, then how many over here? Also 1 centimeter. Over here, let's say it's about 7 centimeters. Then on the other side, it should also be 7 centimeters. Okay, so a reflection will always maintain the distance from where it is to the line of reflection. Now the line of reflection, we're used to this kind because we're used to mirrors, but you also know that it can be a horizontal line of reflection, whereas the one figure will map over that line of reflection. In this case, we can call it x-axis, and it will have a vertical reflection because it moves vertically, went from up to down or down to up, okay, and that's a vertical movement. Now, if you don't understand all of that, that's okay. I'm just throwing it out there, letting your brain and your ears hear some of that, your eyes see this, okay? But a lot of times, the line is not always vertical or horizontal. Sometimes it's diagonal. We'll call this a diagonal, which is not vertical and not horizontal. Diagonal line of reflection, where you might have a pre-image, or whether it's here or here, and you fold it over, and it's going to end up on that side. Okay? We will use patty paper in class as well. Okay, so I'm going to use patty paper here. So, yeah, we'll do it in class as well. So let's go ahead and move on into the inside. Now, if we're going to reflect in the coordinate plane, the interesting things happen. So we're going to focus mainly on the line of reflection being the x-axis. So this is where I'm going to use my two colors here. So I'm going to make my x-axis for now, I'll just say it is, mine is pink, whatever color you choose, and then the y-axis, okay? So we have that. And you'll notice that something happens with the pre-image and the image, right? So we'll talk about these rules in class. Just know that the negative can always mean opposite. Okay, so